Alright, let's go ahead and load up game 1 and pause it at the 10-second mark. But anyway, sorry for the delays, guys. I'm happy to welcome you guys to the StratBunker Lazarus Special Showmatch series. This is our first Showmatch in a series of many more to come. And this one happens to be between HuK and SeleCT. We wanted to give them a chance to rematch after MLG. They had some great games. HuK actually did a mothership rush. Didn't end up working out for him because he told his opponent and the audience pretty much exactly what he was doing. And SeleCT was able to win 2-0. So anyways, I've got my good friend HD StarCraft here with me. You guys all know who he is. What's up, HD?
Yo, what's up? Pleasure to be on the StratBunker's show with SeleCT and HuK.
Right on, man. Alright, let's just jump into this first game. Are you paused at 10 seconds?
I am indeed.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we've got a Terran versus Protoss on Lost Temple. HuK spawning at 12 o'clock, SeleCT spawning in red at 9 o'clock. HuK talking some nonsense before the game starts. He's actually a very vocal player. Talks a lot in-game, even in high-profile matches. Maybe just to throw his opponent off, who knows. But they do have close spawns, so I think that's going to favor our Terran a little bit more in this matchup. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Close spawns means that a Terran player gets a little bit more advantage. They can open up with the 3 racks and push out with Marines and Marauders. Can be very deadly against Protoss. And we'll see. I think a lot of this game is going to come down to controlling that center Xel'Naga Watchtower between the Protoss and the Terran base. And I don't exactly recall because it's been too long, but if you could refresh our memory for us, who exactly won at the DC event between SeleCT and HuK? It was SeleCT, right?
SeleCT took it. Yeah, SeleCT took it. And an interesting scouting path for HuK's probe. He actually just went straight down into the mid, tapped the first Xel'Naga Tower, ran to the second Xel'Naga Tower, tapped that, and then went ahead and scouted the 6 o'clock position. And I kind of like this. In the event that he sees an SCV coming through the middle of the map, by tapping those Xel'Naga Towers, he can calculate where his opponent's coming from. Yeah,
totally. I saw that too. Crossing the Xel'Naga Watchtower right away, and so you can see the crossing scout. But SeleCT isn't sending out an early scout. He's sending it after barracks, and he is getting that refinery down. So both players are going to just now realize that they have spawned right across from each other, just a doorstep away. So we'll see what happens in this game.
They're both players just playing fairly standard right now. SeleCT getting his orbital on 15, got his barracks down, and SeleCT really likes this this double barracks fast expand build. It's a lot safer than a 1-racks FE, and you get your expansion timing out just a little bit later. He gets out that first Marine, adds a tech lab, uses a Marine to scout around, get rid of the probe, and then builds a really quick Reaper to go in and scout the Protoss base, see what he's up to, and hopefully kill a few probes. And I really like that build. And meanwhile, HuK does a much more safe opener, just gets out that quick Zealot, then gets out a Stalker, and that'll keep him safe from any kind of early aggression.
Right. I think you make an interesting point. If the Terran player opens up with 2 racks before command center, it's a little bit safer, and it allows you to get a little bit more troops out to defend your front door when you land down that natural expand. Especially safer, I think, if HuK decides to go for a 4-gate. So we'll see. He's got that. He's actually chrono boosting a Stalker out rather than chrono boosting the warp gate technology, and he is getting the second gas up. A little bit of rat and dance at the Xel'Naga Watchtower, but the Zealot should be able to pick off that SCV. And we're just waiting to see what SeleCT decides to do. He's got Tech Lab Reactor. I'd like to see if he gets a command center or not. Reaper's going to chase away the Zealot at the center, though.
Indeed, and the Stalker is going to engage this Reaper in the middle of the map. It looks like SeleCT's going to try and get up into the main base for a scout, but a great pylon position actually gives HuK the sight on the high ground, and he's able to pick off that Reaper. I really like that pylon right there.
Yeah. Totally agree with you. That pylon actually, if it wasn't there, then the Stalker would not have been able to shoot up the ledge and hit that Reaper, and then the Reaper would have been able to get in and get the scout off, which, by the way, HuK is throwing down 2 more gateways, and he's chrono boosting warp gate now. So he may decide to go for 3 gate or possibly 4 gate. SeleCT throwing down the bunker outside his natural, but he hasn't yet thrown up a command center. So, ooh, a little bit of SCV action there, but it doesn't look like SeleCT is going to get his command center inside the base. He's just going to throw it down, one bunker for defensive purposes, and there's going to be a small engagement at the Xel'Naga. The Stalker will get picked off. I think SeleCT here looking to be in a pretty good position if he can micro out of harm's way. He has concussive shells, which makes it so much more effective when it comes to kiting Zealots and Stalkers. SeleCT will take the center of the field.
SeleCT actually coming up huge right there. I think cost efficient wise, he just killed a lot more Protoss units than he lost in Terran units, and he looks like he's gonna continue on with this push and try and hit the main. But HuK just finishing his second and third gateways. His fourth gateway is on the way. SeleCT was unable to get a scout into his base. As you mentioned before, he lost that SCV just south of HuK's base, and he really wanted to get that inside HuK's base to see what was going on. He really has no idea this 4 gate's coming right now, but I think he's pretty well prepared to deal with it. He's got this bunker up, and I really don't see HuK
there's Zealots warping into SeleCT's main base. There's actually a proxy pylon. I don't know when that probe got in there, but it's inside the mineral line right now, and it's starting to slash away at these SCVs. SeleCT falls back with his troops, and he's repairing all of his SCVs on the bunker to make sure his front wall does not fall. But HuK here is doing a lot of economic damage, and he's continuing to warp in units from that southern proxy pylon. Great attack here from HuK.
Units lost for SeleCT up to 13 now. 14, 15, 16, most of these are SCVs. This is terrible for him. HuK can really afford to lose these units right now as long as they're killing SCVs in the main. But one thing SeleCT does have going for him is he's about to finish his second command center. He will have 2 command centers. He can upgrade that quickly into an orbital command. And then once he gets his double mules going, he'll be able to recoup these losses relatively quick.
That is true. SeleCT does have his orbital command morphing in at that natural right now, and he will be able to pump out SCVs a little bit quicker than HuK, because HuK is a little bit later on that nexus. But I really do think HuK did quite a bit of damage to SeleCT there, killing off several SCVs. It's going to take some time for SeleCT, like you said, to recuperate those losses. And right now, SeleCT, I think he might have the larger army. It's tough to call. It's tough to call. I think SeleCT knows he needs to push out and force the enemy Protoss not to probe up, but rather make more army units. A nice stim from SeleCT, picking off all the forces and then continuing to micro, and he's going to pick off all these Stalkers as well. Absolutely amazing. Great showing of the power of the Marauder, and that is going to force HuK to warp in more units. Luckily, he does have the high ground.
Yeah, the motif of this game has just been SeleCT picking off Stalkers, you know, sentries, really expensive units that you don't want to be losing, and I don't even know how many Stalkers HuK has lost this game, but it's a lot more than SeleCT has lost in terms of cost worth of Marines and Marauders. You can't really afford to lose that many Stalkers this early game as Protoss. The Stalkers in the main base, I'm okay with him losing. They were killing SCVs, they were doing tons of damage. But when he tried to hit the front door, SeleCT was mass repairing his bunker, and he lost the 3 or 4 Stalkers right there. And then also losing the Stalkers in mid in both engagements. His army would be way bigger right now if he had those units still active.
It's interesting to note that SeleCT he's been producing out of 2 barracks for almost the entire game. He's just now getting the 3rd one up, and the factory, so very, very low when it comes to how many production facilities he has. He just got the 2nd gas up at the main and the 3rd gas up at the natural. So we should be seeing this factory start to pump out some possibly siege tanks, or even teching straight up to starport and getting some of those dropships out to help heal and mobilize the infantry. But is it going to be in time? SeleCT here really doesn't have much forces, but he does have 2 bunkers to fall back to if HuK decides to make a push out.
Yeah, these 2 bunkers are really going to prevent any kind of front door break that HuK is looking to do, but HuK's still going for it anyway, trying to take out that first bunker, losing both of his zealots, maybe a 3rd zealot, yeah, losing his 3rd zealot. Tries to force field SeleCT's units, but misses one key force field location right there, leaving a window for SeleCT's units to get back to those bunkers, back to safety. If he had been able to close those units off, I think he would have been able to kill all of them.
Good play from both these players so far. I think HuK still has the advantage though, PainUser. He still has a stronger economy, 46 over 38 harvesters. And HuK's also transitioning now into getting that robotics facility. No doubt going to try to get quick obs out and possibly some immortals. But most likely, rather than not, he's going to try to get that Colossus out. Which is so good when the Terran player decides to go for such a heavy bio army. Colossus are extremely good, and we do have the starport and factory switching off. Starport will be accommodating the reactor now, and we're going to be seeing some reactored Vikings and dropships coming out of that starport.
He's also building a Ghost Academy, which I really like this play from SeleCT. I think Ghosts are largely underused in TVP. They're a great unit in general, even if there aren't High Templar out on the field. They do a ton of damage to the Protoss army, removing 100 shields from a huge AE worth of units, and that's just instant front-loaded damage that it does to their army, and you can get rid of almost all the force fields if you hit those EMPs properly, and force fields are another huge issue with bio, so it helps you kill their army much quicker, and it gets rid of the amount of force fields that they can do. It's a lot harder for them to just cut your army in half and fight one half, then stomp the other half.
And we do see HuK getting that robotic support bay down, PainUser, so he will be trying to get out some Colossi. He's also getting one observer out, chrono boosting that out. That will be his first observer of the day, and he also has Twilight Council going down. We will probably be seeing him quickly go up to Templar tech just for that side storm, but it is very gas intensive trying to go for both Colossi and Templars, so indeed HuK will be getting a third expansion out all the way at the 2 o'clock position. Now SeleCT has these ghosts out, and like you said, PainUser, very, very good against Protoss. Just in general, the EMP shockwave does so much when it comes to a massive battle, and it looks like we are going to be seeing a massive battle as SeleCT pushes out here.
Turn your attention real quick before the battle to HuK's vision. I love the fact that he has almost the entire map covered, and it looks like HuK is going to try and engage here in mid, missing a few key force fields. EMPs going off on every single unit except for maybe 5 stalkers. SeleCT coming up huge right there with his EMPs, doing tremendous amounts of damage, and I think he's going to be able to push HuK's main here unless HuK is able to pull something out.
Yeah, HuK here in a lot of trouble, but his Colossus gets pulled out of the robotics facility. Now the probes coming off the line as well. The Colossus does not have extended thermal lance, I do not believe, which means it's just about to finish, so that thermal lance can mean the difference between life and death here for our Canadian Protoss. And it looks like the Colossus and the combination of probes will fend off SeleCT. SeleCT making what seems to be a comeback. He was really far behind after losing so many harvesters. But that double orbital command, double meal, pulling him back in this game, and the Ghost making a huge change as well. I think HuK is now on the back end. He's on the back foot, and he is now the one cornered into his own base.
SeleCT also got the Ghost energy upgrade just for extra EMP action, and I really like that. His Ghosts are popping out with that initial extra 25 with an EMP right off the bat. And those 2 EMPs that he landed were just crucial before that fight. They did
drop at the 2 o'clock. There's a drop at the 2 and a push at the natural. Oh man, the
like
Nexus.
Both those things simultaneously. That's great. That's a really good move by SeleCT right there, and I think he's going to be able to get HuK's natural.
Oh, this could be game right here. SeleCT here diverting the attention. The Colossus were going out to the 2 to defend. Great EMPs from SeleCT. And I think even though HuK has 2 Colossi with that extended thermal, it's just not enough. Now that HuK has lost his natural, he is so far behind. I don't see any hope for our Protoss player. HuK is, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, HuK's definitely in a lot of trouble. He's lost almost all of his probes from his main and his natural. He only has about 13 left. And he's got 3 mining over at the 3 o'clock location, but I don't know if that's going to cut it because SeleCT can just keep diverting his forces. SeleCT engaging at the Zelnaga Tower and bringing a small force back from the 3 o'clock to engage from behind, trapping all the Colossus together, and it looks like he's going to be able to clean up HuK's entire army in mid here. GG is called, and SeleCT takes the first game in a pretty commanding fashion.
GG indeed. So that is game 1 for the show match between SeleCT and HuK. Well played by SeleCT. What a comeback. I thought for sure he was like
Yeah, I
really far
agree.
behind after that proxy pylon. How did he sneak that pylon in? I didn't even see that pylon until like the zealots were coming
I
into
think
his
he
minerals.
had the probe hidden in the bottom left of the 9 o'clock, and there's a little tree in the corner of the base where you
Oh,
can actually hide probes around the back of the tree. It's pretty awesome, and I don't think it shows up on the mini map unless you move an SCV down there towards that location to see if there's anything behind that tree.
that's pretty sneaky by HuK, but good game though, PainUser. Really good game, first game. So we're gonna move to game 2. Is that right?
Indeed. Let me know when you're at the 10-second mark, and
Okay.
we'll kick it off. I'm loading mine right now.